Marcus, you've been touring all around the world playing some of the largest festivals. How is playing on the Groove Cruise different from those events?
How is it different? You get to just kind of meet everybody, hang out with people. When at the beginning of it, everybody was just kind of like, oh, there's Marcus, But after they see me hanging out, and I'm hanging out with them, having drinks with them, having breakfast with everybody, dinner with people, all of a sudden it becomes like a family here, and I think that's what makes this so different. You just get to hang out with people for 3-4 days and get to meet so many, you get to meet or hear the personal stories behind some of the people that are your fans.
Do you think it was more like intimate set last night?
Yeah, it definitely felt intimate last night, yeah, for sure.
Some say some of your respected talents as a DJ is playing these marathon sets that are seamless and it flows well. How do you prepare for such demanding sets?
Well, you know what? It goes back to when I started in this scene. I was a resident DJ in a club, and I would come in every Friday night and play from the time the doors open till the time the doors closed, and I did that for 7-8 years. And so it goes back to, and during that time you're reading the dance floor and you're being a DJ. So the way I prepare for these marathon sets is just kind of go back to my roots, make sure that you've got enough music for the right times of the night, and just be a DJ. It's all about the art of DJing, and I think that sometimes that gets lost. There's a lot of guys who they make a hit record and then they go and perform on main stage and they do a 1-hour set and that's it, and it's the same set they've been doing for the last year. But there's a real art form to DJing, and when I do these long sets, that's what I'm trying to really express is the art of DJing, and I give a lot of respect to all the resident DJs that are out there that do this every Friday and every Saturday night, playing from open to close. I know how it is, and so I take my hat off to those guys.
What inspires you to produce your type of music?
I think it's just a feeling that I have. I've never been into the super uplifting, happy, love songs, trance music, but I love melodies and I love grooves. So I've always just kind of, went with what's inside here, I get inspired from listening to other DJs, listening to different melodies, listening to, I'll go and listen to some techno DJs and get inspired by a certain groove, I just get inspired from all the sounds around me.
Well, we're at TranceFamily. We love all the elements you bring, of trance into your sets. What do you think about the recent explosion of the popularity of trance worldwide?
Well, you know what? To be honest, it's never really gone away. I think that it's just maybe a new generation is discovering trance, and I love it. I think it's great to because the melodies are they're timeless, and a lot of the tracks that they discover. These are timeless tracks, and it's just it's really cool to see that these timeless tracks, are now touching a new generation of clubbers, and I think it's cool, and like I said, I don't think trance never went anywhere. Trance has always been there, and the trance DJs they've always been around doing their pounding the pavement, doing their thing, but yeah. Sometimes things happen in cycles, and it's cool to see it come back, though.
Well, we saw you last night and so much energy on stage, and that's kind of another signature thing. You're always having your hands up, you're rocking out to the music in your marathon sets. How do you kind of unwind after all that?
It's not easy to unwind because, especially after my 12-hour set at Avalon on New Year's Eve, I remember I was sitting there for 2-3 hours afterwards in my hotel room going, shit, I can't sleep, it's like, but you just chill out, and eventually the adrenaline kind of goes away, and you start to relax. But I think the biggest thing is just like I said, when I do these long sets, it's not scripted or anything like that. So I'm constantly reading the crowd, thinking about how these two tracks are going to go together. Where do I want to mix it? Where am I going to go? And so I'm constantly making calculations in my head. So I think my brain activity for 12, 13 hours is just like, you know, and at the end of it, it's the hardest time. I have the hardest time kind of slowing my brain down. You know, it's my brain is still like firing really fast.
Awesome. So what would you like to do after your DJ set? Like on
After-
weekends, what do you like to like unwind, play golf, or like?
No, I like to, you know, when I get home to Miami, I like to just grab my bike and ride around Miami, or maybe I'll go to the gym, play basketball, or, you know, even go out with some friends and just kind of unwind.
One of the other reasons why you're kind of respected in this trance industry right now is you're able to showcase some really good new talent under your Coldharbour
Yeah.
label. What are some things we can look forward, you know, from those guys?
Well, you know what? I always, for me, it's always more interesting and more fun to discover new talent, and I take great pride in that. But one of the guys that I'm bringing into the fold is a guy who's been around for a long time, but he's just kind of like reinvented himself, and that's Mike Push. And I mean, he's on fire right now, and I'm really pleased to have him in the Coldharbour family now. You know, and of course we got Coma and Beat Service and Groovy and Hosepian. Those guys are, you know, doing really amazing stuff as well. So yeah, for me it's rewarding to just kind of, you know, I always say this. It's like I've fulfilled more than I ever could dream of. And you know, one of the things I want to do now is help other guys fulfill their dreams as well. And I take great pride in doing that.
Well, back to your DJing. How did the New World Punks came about?
That was it was organic. You know, Ferry and I, we've known each other for years. We've played at some of the same events for years. And we had a gig in God's Kitchen in Birmingham, and they basically said, you know what, you guys figure out the time slots. And Ferry and I, you know, we had been working in the studio together and just having some fun in the studio. And we set some time slots. You play for an hour, I'll play for an hour, and then blah, blah, you know. And we wound up just doing the entire night back to back. And we had so much fun. Everything was unscripted. We were like high-fiving each other. And it was just so much fun that, you know, we did it in a few more places. And all of a sudden, promoters from all over the world started, you know, messaging us like, we want to book you guys together. So we said, wow, we kind of have to come up with a project name for this. So that's how the New World Punk's name, you know, we took the New World and his track
weekend,
Punk, yeah.
EDC weekend Sunday, you guys played. You and Ferry played at
Mansion.
Venetian at Las Vegas.
At
EDC
Tao Beach.
weekend
Oh, yeah,
Sunday?
yeah.
Tao Beach.
Yeah,
you guys
Tao
played
Beach.
for like 6 hours. So
Yeah,
it's
that's the nice thing. It's like, you know, Ferry and I'll just get behind the decks and he'll play something and to try and blow my mind, and I'm like, whoa, and then I'll try and play something to blow his mind, and then for 6 hours you're basically watching two guys just having fun with music and trying to blow each other's minds, and the crowds are all, you know, the crowd feels it as well.
Well, how is it different when you're DJing solo and when you're DJing alongside
Well,
Ferry?
you know what? When I'm DJing solo, I'm trying to tell a story. There's more, you know, it's a show. And then when we do New World Punks, it's you know, a lot of it's unscripted. Now, you know, we're getting a lot of requests for main stage festival sets, which is going to be like an hour set. So those we're in the process of kind of carving out a New World Punks festival set. But as of right now, when we're doing it, it's totally unscripted, and it's all just us just
in the
vibing.
moment. In the moment.
Yeah, in the moment for sure.
You guys come to Thanksgiving, pre-Thanksgiving. in Los
Yeah,
Angeles.
yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Well, last year you featured LA as your mixed compilation CD. This year it's Buenos Aires. What can
Yeah.
you kind of tell us what we can expect from that?
Well, Buenos Aires is one of the hottest markets right now in the world, and I had to. I mean, I played 2 shows in Buenos Aires back to back, just like I did at Avalon last year. I did it in Buenos Aires, and both nights were sold out and just rocking. And I just, you know, for me it was like I've got to give my respect to Buenos Aires. It's an amazing scene down there. The fans are absolutely amazing and super passionate. So yeah, that's why I dedicated the compilation to them this year. You know, I wish I could do it at LA every year because LA deserves it every year. You know, the Los Angeles TranceFamily, you guys are just amazing, and you know, people talk about you guys all over the world. And in interviews all over the world, I'm always talking about how amazing the scene is in LA. So just because the compilation was last year, you guys are still, LA is still is one of the top places in my heart.
Well, when you were growing up, did you ever imagine yourself to be a DJ, or did you have other dreams?
Well, no, I actually I did. This is my father was a musician and he was also a DJ, so I have it in my blood. And ever since I can remember, I've been listening to music and chopping up music. I remember I used to have a cassette deck, and I would like make these pause button mixes and. Hey, I used to be really good at these pause button mixes. Don't laugh. But this is all I've ever wanted to do.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule with us. Anything else you want to say to TranceFamily LA?
Oh, I think I've said it all to you guys. You guys are amazing, and thank you guys. I mean, really, like I said, I interviews I do all over the world. I talk about how amazing the scene is in LA, and I think we can all be very proud to be part of the scene and